the Egyptian Book of the Dead is more than just a collection of spells, it's a window into the intricate and dynamic relationship the Egyptians believed they had with the divine. The afterlife was a treacherous place, filled with gods, judges, protectors, and monstrous beings that determined a soul's ultimate fate. These figures, many of whom we've encountered in Egyptian mythology, are more than mere characters, they are guardians of cosmic order, ensuring that balance is maintained. Today, we explore these key figures in the Egyptian Book of the Dead and how they shape the soul's journey to eternity. Osiris is more than the ruler of the underworld, he is the embodiment of death and resurrection itself. His story begins with his murder at the hands of his brother Seth, who dismembered his body and scattered it across Egypt. Yet, through the magic and devotion of his wife, Isis, Osiris was resurrected, becoming the first being to defeat death and rise again. This myth underpins Egyptian beliefs about resurrection and the afterlife. In the Book of the Dead, Osiris sits as the ultimate judge. He presides over the Hall of Ma'at, where the heart of the deceased is weighed against the feather of truth. But Osiris is more than a passive overseer. His very presence imbues the afterlife with the promise of resurrection. Those who enter the Duat, or underworld, seek to align themselves with Osiris, to share in his rebirth and escape oblivion. Osiris's iconography is telling. His green skin represents the fertility of the Nile, the symbol of life returning after the annual flood. His mummified appearance underscores his connection to death, while his regal crown reflects his authority over both the living and the dead. While we often associate Osiris with the dead, he was also a god of life. His resurrection gave the Egyptians hope for eternal life in the field of reeds. Interestingly, Osiris's judgment is often seen as merciful. Unlike some afterlife myths where gods act capriciously, Osiris judges based on whether the deceased lived according to Ma'at, truth, justice, and balance. The Egyptians didn't fear Osiris in the same way they feared chaotic forces. Instead, they revered him, for he represented the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Anubis is one of the most iconic figures in Egyptian mythology, recognizable by his jackal head. While Osiris rules the underworld, it is Anubis who prepares the soul for its journey there. He is the god of mummification and the protector of tombs. His role in the Book of the Dead is indispensable. He ensures that the deceased is properly preserved so their soul can reunite with their body and navigate the afterlife. Anubis's jackal-headed form may have come from the natural behavior of jackals around burial sites. In the desolate landscapes of ancient Egypt, jackals were often seen scavenging near cemeteries, leading the Egyptians to associate these animals with the dead. But instead of seeing jackals as predators, the Egyptians transformed them into guardians. Anubis became a protector of the dead, ensuring their safe passage to the afterlife. Anubis also plays a critical role in the judgment of the dead. He is depicted as the one who weighs the heart against the feather of Ma'at. His role as an impartial arbiter ensures that justice is served. If the heart is light and balanced, the deceased is allowed to pass into the field of reeds. If it is heavy with sin, the consequences are dire, as we will soon explore. But Anubis is not only a judge. He is also a guide, leading the soul through the complex passages of the underworld. In many funerary texts, Anubis is invoked to help the deceased navigate the labyrinthine Duat and protect them from hostile forces. In this way, Anubis embodies both judgment and mercy, ensuring that the deceased is given a fair chance at eternal life. Ma'at is not only a goddess, she is the concept of truth, balance, and cosmic order. Without Ma'at, the universe would descend into chaos. Every aspect of Egyptian life, including the afterlife, was governed by Ma'at. Kings ruled by her principles, and the deceased had to prove that they lived according to her laws to enter the afterlife. In the Book of the Dead, Ma'at's feather is the measure by which souls are judged. During the weighing of the heart ceremony, the heart of the deceased is placed on one side of the scale, and Ma'at's feather on the other. This is no mere ritual, it's a cosmic test. The feather, symbolizing truth and purity, must balance the heart. If the heart is lighter or equal in weight, the soul is pure and ready to ascend to the afterlife. But Ma'at's influence extends beyond the afterlife. Her principles governed the daily lives of Egyptians. The pharaoh's primary responsibility was to uphold Ma'at, ensuring that order prevailed in society. Without Ma'at, Egypt would fall into Isfet, chaos. Ma'at's presence in the afterlife reinforces the idea that how one lived on earth directly impacted their eternal fate. Unlike other cultures where the afterlife could be capricious, the Egyptians believed that it was ruled by justice. Ma'at ensured that everyone, from kings to commoners, was judged fairly, based on their adherence to truth and justice. Her presence in the Book of the Dead symbolizes the Egyptians' deep commitment to moral rectitude. Thoth, the god of wisdom, writing, and knowledge, plays a vital role in the judgment process. As the divine scribe, Thoth records the results of the weighing of the heart ceremony, ensuring that the judgment is fair and that no error is made. His presence guarantees that the record of the deceased's deeds is accurately transcribed. Thoth is credited with creating hieroglyphics, the sacred script that held immense power in Egyptian culture. The Egyptians believed that words themselves had magical properties, and Thoth's gift of writing allowed them to harness this power. In the afterlife, Thoth ensures that the spells from the Book of the Dead are effective, guiding the deceased through the perils of the Duat. Beyond his role as a scribe, Thoth is also seen as a protector of the deceased. In various funerary texts, he is invoked to protect the soul during its journey. Thoth's association with the moon and time also connects him to cycles of life and death, reinforcing his role as a guardian of cosmic balance. Thoth's influence is not limited to the afterlife. In Egyptian culture, he was revered as the god of wisdom, law, and knowledge. His presence in the Book of the Dead reflects the importance of intellectual and spiritual preparation for the afterlife. Those who invoked Thoth sought not just protection, but guidance, using his wisdom to navigate the complexities of death. In the Egyptian afterlife, not all souls succeed in reaching paradise. For those whose hearts are weighed down by sin, there is no second chance. Ammit, the devourer of souls, awaits those whose hearts fail the test. She is a fearsome creature, part crocodile, part lion, and part hippopotamus, combining the most dangerous animals in the Egyptian imagination. Ammit is not a goddess, she is a personification of divine retribution. She exists only to punish the souls who are deemed unworthy. When a heart is heavier than Ma'at's feather, indicating a life filled with sin and imbalance, Ammit devours it, condemning the soul to oblivion. This fate is known as the second death, from which there is no resurrection. Ammit's role in the Book of the Dead is crucial to maintaining cosmic balance. While Osiris, Anubis, and Thoth serve as guardians of the dead, Ammit represents the final consequence of moral failure. Her presence reinforces the idea that immortality must be earned through righteousness. In a way, she is both a warning and a reflection of Egyptian views on justice. Those who do not live by Ma'at will face the ultimate penalty. Interestingly, Ammit's role as a devourer is not seen as evil, but as necessary for the cosmic order. She eliminates chaos by removing those souls that would disrupt the harmony of the afterlife. Her composite form, crocodile, lion, and hippopotamus, symbolizes the fiercest and most feared animals in Egyptian culture, making her an embodiment of the ultimate punishment. Ammit's existence reminds the deceased that their eternal fate hinges on their adherence to truth and justice. Ra, the sun god, is one of the most powerful and central figures in Egyptian religion. While he is primarily associated with the sun's journey across the sky, his role in the underworld is equally significant. Each night, Ra journeys through the Duat in his solar bark, battling the forces of chaos and ensuring the sun's rebirth at dawn. In the Book of the Dead, Ra's journey through the underworld is deeply symbolic of the deceased's journey through death and into the afterlife. Ra's battle with the serpent Apep, the embodiment of chaos, represents the constant struggle between order and disorder, life and death. Just as Ra is reborn every morning, so too does the deceased hope to be reborn in the afterlife. Ra's role is not just cosmic, but deeply personal. The deceased are encouraged to align themselves with Ra, invoking his power to help them overcome the dangers of the underworld. By traveling with Ra, the soul partakes in the god's regeneration, ensuring its own resurrection. This alignment with Ra reinforces the cyclical nature of life and death in Egyptian belief. Ra's journey through the 12 hours of night is outlined in texts such as the Duat, where each hour represents a different stage of the underworld. The imagery of Ra's solar bark, accompanied by gods like Isis and Horus, offers protection to the deceased as they face the dangers of the Duat. The journey culminates with Ra's triumphant return at dawn, a moment of cosmic renewal that symbolizes the soul's victory over death. Atha and Sekhmet represent two sides of the same divine coin, nurturing and destruction. Atha, often depicted as a cow-headed goddess or a woman with the solar disk, symbolizes fertility, motherhood, and love. In contrast, Sekhmet, with her lioness head, embodies war, wrath, and vengeance. Together, they reflect the dual aspects of divine power in Egyptian cosmology, the capacity to nurture and create, as well as the ability to destroy and punish. In the context of the afterlife, Atha offers the deceased protection, sustenance, and comfort. She is often associated with welcoming souls to the field of reeds, a paradise where the righteous dead enjoy eternal peace and abundance. Atha is a symbol of life-giving power, and in the Book of the Dead, she is invoked to help the deceased reach the afterlife safely. Sekhmet, on the other hand, serves a more fearsome role. In mythology, she was originally sent by Ra to punish humanity for their disobedience, and her destructive power was so great that it had to be curbed. In the Book of the Dead, Sekhmet's fierce nature is channeled into protection. She defends the deceased from the dangers of the underworld, destroying any malevolent forces that threaten the soul's journey. This duality of Atha and Sekhmet highlights the Egyptians' nuanced view of divine power. The gods were not one-dimensional, they could nurture life and bring destruction when necessary. The deceased needed both kinds of divine intervention to ensure their safe passage through the afterlife. Atha provided the care and guidance needed to thrive in the next world, while Sekhmet offered the strength and protection to overcome its challenges. Horus, the falcon-headed god, is one of the most important deities in Egyptian mythology. He is the son of Osiris and Isis and is most famous for avenging his father's death by battling his uncle Seth. In this epic struggle, Horus restores order to Egypt, reaffirming his role as the protector of kingship and divine justice. In the context of the Book of the Dead, Horus's protective role extends to the deceased. As the rightful heir to Osiris, Horus acts as a guardian, ensuring that the deceased are shielded from the chaos of the underworld. The connection between Horus and the pharaohs is especially significant. Each Egyptian king was considered the living embodiment of Horus, which linked the king to divine authority. Invoking Horus allowed the deceased to tap into this divine kingship, reinforcing their claim to eternal life. Horus's battles with Seth, who represents disorder and chaos, serve as metaphors for the deceased's own struggles in the afterlife. Just as Horus triumphed over Seth, so too must the soul triumph over the forces of chaos to reach the afterlife. The imagery of Horus soaring above the dangers of the Duat, in his falcon form, reinforces his role as a protector both in life and death. The Egyptian Book of the Dead offers a vivid and intricate portrayal of the divine forces that guide, protect, and judge the souls of the deceased. From Osiris, the king of the underworld, to Ammit, the devourer of the unworthy, each figure plays a vital role in maintaining the cosmic balance that governs both life and death. These gods were not distant figures, they were active participants in the soul's journey, ensuring that justice was served, protection was offered, and resurrection was possible. The Book of the Dead teaches us that the journey to the afterlife was not just about avoiding danger, it was about embracing the principles of truth, balance, and justice. The gods, whether as protectors like Atha and Anubis or as judges like Ma'at and Osiris, reflected the Egyptians' deep belief in a moral universe where actions in life determined the soul's fate in death. In our next episode, we will explore the specific rituals, tomb structures, and burial practices that were integral to preparing both body and soul for the afterlife. Join us as we continue to unlock the mysteries of ancient Egypt's most sacred texts and its profound understanding of life, death, and resurrection. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this detailed exploration of the key figures in the Book of the Dead, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our journey through ancient Egypt's captivating history.